Get ready for New Orleans. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am personally inviting you to save the date for the 2026 Black History Month Literary Weekend. This February marks 10 years of celebrating literacy and our history, and we're taking it back to New Orleans, where it all began. Join us and meet these amazing authors: Michelle Knight, Royce Dixon, Chef Diana Riley, Lillian Joseph, Dr. Audrey Ann Moses, Dr. Emily Woolcock, Dr. LaTracy McDonald, Mark Beausejour, Eloja Hadley, Kevin Wayne Johnson, Tori Q. Jones, Marvin O'Brien, Karen Stampley, and Michelle Roney. February 19th through the 21st, we're taking over New Orleans for an unforgettable weekend of books, brilliance, and Black excellence. Stay tuned. Early bird tickets start December 1st. For more information, visit www.mtwimagesolutions.com. I like that promo. I was just dancing. Hey, I can't wait until we get to New Orleans, y'all. Can we have a conversation? Because New Orleans is going to be everything. And yes, I did have to put the thing on it because it's going to be everything. So as you can see, the Black History Month Literary Weekend is in full effect. We have our authors, we have our special guests, and ticket sales start on December 1st. And very soon, we are going to be announcing the scholarship contest as well as the essay contest. And we have a special treat for you this year. We're going to have Meet the World magazine. So there's so much going on with this 10th anniversary of the Black History Month Literary Weekend, and you really need to be a part of it. So either come out to New Orleans or call your friends who are in New Orleans and tell them they don't want to miss this either, because we are going to have a good time. And did you notice the comedians? Yes, we will have a whole comedy show as well as the Ivory and Cream Affair, as well as a free writer's workshop with Brian W. Smith, as well as an author meet and greet, as well as book signings at Barnes & Noble and some other great places around New Orleans. This is going to be a whole treat, and I really want you guys to be there. So just stay tuned to the Meet the World Image Solutions social media pages. Stay tuned to the Horizons Author Lounge, because there is more to come. And like I said, you guys just have to be a part of it. I'm excited, and we're still 4 or 5 months out. So as you can see, there's a lot going on. But in the meantime, in the between time, hey, what's up, y'all? This is your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge. And tonight we have two special guests. I met them just a few months ago, so this is going to be my first time having a conversation with both of them. But right now, I'm going to bring on my very first guest, Miss Chantal, and she is so sweet. Look at that smile. And some of y'all were probably wondering what's going on because we started a little late. I had a couple of little behind the scenes technical difficulties that As you can see, we work them out. And so I just want to publicly thank Ms. Chantal for your patience and your grace as we work through those issues. But you are still getting your full half hour, so don't even worry about that.
Okay, that's good with me.
Well, welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge. How are you tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Ooh, equal parts exciting and terrified, but I'm
Oh,
good.
stop. You never have to be terrified here in the Horizons Author Lounge because we always have a good time and this is a welcoming environment.
Yes,
We are here to support the authors who come on our show. And I do myself no service and I do my guests no service. If I come in combative and rude, that's just not the way we roll here in the Horizons Author Lounge.
I get it. I get it, and I'm feeling it's leveling out. I'm feeling good now.
Well, let's start. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Uh, you know how they say tinker, tailor, soldier, spy? Mine is author, teacher, minister, maker. I just try to keep it short.
Oh,
The maker part is I'm big on crafting, collect dolls, I sew. The minister part is I part of a dance outreach ministry and I choreograph. That's the teacher part.
wow.
And the author, that's my first love. Of all the things I've ever been gifted to do, writing is what I love to. I love to create worlds and I love to make people think.
Yes, I've got to say that writing is my first love as well. Reading was actually my very first love, and then writing came
Mhm.
shortly afterwards. So I totally
Same.
get
Mhm.
it. So, well,
But
now you said writing is your first love, but talk to
mhm.
me. When did you first tell me about that moment you first realized that you wanted to be a writer?
Ooh, that was in the fourth grade. I was about
Mm,
9 years old. And you know how they tell you to write the little stories about how you spent your summer vacation, or I forgot what the subject was. But
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
teacher, my I wrote like one page. It had to be a one-page story, and we had done this assignment a couple of times. And this teacher, who I really didn't even like, but while we were walking in the hall, she was like, "I really want you to write more stories. You're really good at it." And it stopped me because I'm like, "I thought you didn't like me." And that and really that's when I started getting, tuned into teachers, because the teachers who you think don't like you, they're the ones who are they really have your back.
Yes, yes.
You-
They're really just kind of pushing you along, and they're doing it in a tough love sort of way.
And that's why
Yeah.
I would always hook up with teachers who were the hardest on me. Those are the ones
Mm,
I ended up liking the most
yes.
afterwards. When I found out, like, yeah, they're just pushing you. You don't like being pushed and picked on. And that when I'm teaching, I kind of think of myself the same way. Yeah, I'm pushing you, but I'm pushing you for a reason. I like to let them know up front. Like,
Yes.
mhm.
So when did you decide that you were going to write your first book?
Well, I had been writing, but my first novel length work was really when I was 18, and I
Okay.
was trying to get published for that. And I was like, I surprised myself at how much I had written, because that was the first time I wrote over 300 pages, like typed out.
Mm,
And that's when I tried to get published, and I realized how difficult it was to get published. This was way back when. And I don't think too many people my age were getting published. And I just, looked at myself as, oh, I'm just going to be the youngest one. It was a hard road. And I really, the more I submitted that same work, I realized, okay, this is going to be a hard road to hoe. But I was really sticking to it because people were really into my writing. I'm like, if I can just get one person to listen, I'm in.
hmm.
And I still do that today. Like, if I can get one person to listen, if I can get one person to read, it'll be
Yes.
good.
Uh, and and it looks like you're making that happen. You're also a minister.
Yes,
So
I'm
so
trying.
there's that right well, you have that writing space and then you also have that speaking space.
Yes. I think I was spiritually gifted to teach because I can't, even when I wasn't like officially teaching,
Hmm.
I knew I was training. When I was working at KFC way back when, my fourth day, I was training other people. That's because I love knowledge. So I'm great at learning. So it made me good at teaching.
Yes,
And
yes,
yeah, so now I'm still I teach Bible to the dance ministry, uh, and all ages, from like 4 to 84, and I love it because everybody just has that thirst for knowledge. That's what I
yeah,
love to feed.
beautiful. So tell me about your books.
Well, this is my debut novel, hard pressed. I like the paperback version because the
I
picture's
love
really
the
big.
cover.
Yes, I this is before I started making my own. This one really stuck out with me because of the subject matter, because the main character, she kind of goes through period of brokenness.
Yes,
Um, what did you see? The Black Panther films or the Woman King?
of course.
Okay, makes it easier. Um, the Dora Milaje and the Agoji. I use the same I use the same research, which really did not exist, uh, way back in when I got it.
Hmm.
But it made me ask the question: what if the Agoji existed as a secret society
Oh,
in modern day America? And this is what it also talks about mother-daughter relationships, specifically
right. I was going
toxic
to ask you
mothers.
about that because that was
Yeah,
a prevailing theme in The Woman King. Um, the
yes.
the the mother daughter relationship and how the mother didn't even really want to claim the daughter at first.
Mm, yes. They say write what you know, and I have gone through that level of mother-daughter kind of toxicity,
Mm,
and it helped me with my healing because this book really took me a long time to write. And I couldn't realize why I couldn't get past 50 pages in like 30 years. It's because part of the book, the part that I was living out, there was no conclusion to that. There was no resolution to that. And there
right.
finally was when I was prompted by the Black Panther movies to go back to my manuscript. I'm like, I was fascinated by the Dora Milaje. I'm like, I can do this. I can put this into modern vernacular and a modern theme. And I think now in our present political climate,
Yeah.
we Black women need something that's going to like really heal and deliver us. But the book is really about this young girl, toxic mom, toxic relationship, and she leaves home and she finds this secret society. And they really help her with her healing and her transformation. And she really comes out the better. She doesn't remain a victim. She's not,
Right.
downing herself about. She's really on board with the transformation to becoming a woman warrior.
So, do you think your experience made you a woman warrior as well?
Yes. Um, I learned. I'm trying to keep it. I learned to have a strong back. It taught me resilience. That's why when I talk about the book, it's about resilient daughters, not just toxic mothers, but resilient daughters,
Yes.
ones who don't just stay where they are. Because a lot of it, you have to unlearn some things that you think that I thought was typical. I thought everybody's household was like this. Like, no, you got to unlearn that. And it's a journey of really self-worth, undoing
Mhm.
all the stuff that was dumped on you, and you have to like really self-talk. You gotta encourage yourself a lot.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, that turned me. I learned to fight. I learned to fight back um, from what I grew up with.
Now,
I think it did me better.
when you were writing about your experiences, I mean, even though this book is a fiction book, you're still writing about your experiences. And you even said that there was a certain point where you just couldn't write anymore because you were kind of re-experiencing all of this. Um,
Mhm. Even even with some of the dialogue, a lot of the dialogue in the book, it took me a while to because a lot of that dialogue is verbatim between me and my mother. And it
wow.
took me a while to even get past it, even though a lot of it has been like clothed in fiction, the situations, the dialogue was like word for word what the things that my mother had said to me. And yeah, there were times during, trying to get from page X to page Y, I'm like, hold on, give me a minute. I gotta step back for a minute. It took me a minute, but I'm glad I got through it because I wanted to finish it. I wanted to
Yes,
finish it. I knew somebody was going to be healed from it as well. That's why we
exactly.
go through the things that we do.
Is that what helped you to get through it? Is just remembering that somebody else needed to hear this story?
Yes, yes. I live with a very good cheerleader, my god sister, and she reminded me, somebody needs to hear your testimony. Somebody, you're going to be telling your testimony to so many people. And I was like, how is that going to happen? This was before I went back to fiction writing. And yes, it was with this book. The people who have read it so far, they're blown away by it.
That's
The women
awesome.
who have read it.
How did you come up with the cover? Because, like I said, it's a beautiful cover and it's very striking. If you could show it to us one more time.
I saw myself in this when I was looking over like pre-made covers. That
Mhm.
was a long process, but I finally saw one, and it just because of the even with the bricks, you see if you look closely, they're bricks. But when I
Yeah,
first saw it, it was just like a broken face, and in a lot of the warfare took place in my head. Just like when you're dealing with that kind of toxicity that people dump on you, it's
right,
here.
right.
It breaks you here. And even when you realize that it's still bricks, you're still that thing about being walked on.
Mm-hmm.
You still have and having to walk through things. So yeah, it turns from just brokenness to the road that you're walking on. It's like your stumbling block become your stepping stones. That's what resonated
That's
with me.
big.
Yeah.
Your stumbling blocks become your stepping stones.
Yes, and that's
Now,
true.
I always ask people because first of all, that is very poignant, but that's
Mhm,
not something that's not a realization that comes to you right away. What was
mhm.
the process like to get to the point where you can look at something, look at your experience and then come up with something so profound?
Ooh, it, it's a longer process than people admit. With
Yes,
me,
and that's the reason why I asked, because
yeah,
it is a longer process than people might
hmm
think, and it's not
and people
something that
think
comes to you right away.
exactly. It's not a one-two boom thing like I was expecting, but really, it's a longer process because you're really undoing what you used to be, and you really have to talk to yourself. That voice in your head that tells you can't do anything, or why didn't
Yeah,
you do that right? That was the voice of my mother for so long. And I learned to talk back to that voice and really shout that down. Like that's what it took for me. Like, no, that's not who I am. You really have to get loud with it. You have to get um, really tough with those voices in your head, those spirits that want to tell you and keep you down that you're not worth anything. Like, no, that's not going to work for me anymore.
mm,
And you really have to decide for yourself. And a lot, even when you're walking out your deliverance, there's still some people who are like, yeah, that's what you might think, but if they want to nudge, nudge, and you really have to be resolute. It's like, no, I'm not hearing that. I'm only hearing the
Yes.
positive. That's what's important for positivity. We really have to pour into our daughters positively. That's a big thing with me. Um, I'm an advocate for children because of that. I think we should listen to children more.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm,
I think sometimes we think, oh, that's just their imagination, or they're making things up, or
mhm,
maybe
mhm,
they're overreacting about something, but we never really just
mhm.
sit down and talk to them to see why they're saying the things that they're saying. And often they're saying it because it's actually happening.
Yes, that was me. There was a point where nobody believed me just because I was a child. Like they discount you. I grew up, when children were seen and not heard. In my mother's house, if you were a certain age, you were invisible.
Mm,
And thankfully, we learned from that. And that's not true in every house anymore. But yeah, I've learned to listen to children, especially when I'm teaching the younger ones. And one of the mothers, she's like, "Oh yes, she likes Miss Chantal because Miss Chantal." Like, yes, I let her talk because I want to hear what she has to say.
yes,
I don't think
yes.
she got to talk that much at home where people were kind of shutting her down at home. Like, yeah, 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 get it. Sometimes, a 4-year-old can tell you a joke for like 10 minutes and you still don't get it.
I thought that was just my daughter.
But, they love to hear that you're listening. They want to know that you're listening and that you're not just brushing them off
Yes.
every single time they open their mouth. That's me. That's how I am.
So now that you have the book, because you have the platform, um,
Mhm.
but do you kind of include the book in your platform as well?
Not as much as I should. I'm learning how uh, because I've had to teach myself a lot, mainly because there were things I could not afford to do, so I had to teach it to myself,
Yeah.
which is why I'm so good at a lot of things.
Mm,
Um, so in terms of creating a platform and sustaining a platform, I'm learning how to do that, and I've got a very good crew who's really supportive of me to do that. So I think I'm on the right track. This is helping a lot. Platforms like this is
hey,
helping a lot.
yes, use this platform as much as you need to. I tell people all the
Yes.
time, this is the way you start your platform by going on podcasts and really practicing delivering your message.
Hmm.
I'm glad that this could be an assistance for you.
Thank you so much. I love it. Now that I'm not terrified,
I told you you
I
were going to
love
feel
it.
comfortable.
Yes, I do. I do. I'm like, oh, I can do this again. I can do this about 11 more times. I'm great now. I'm good. Thank you so much for that.
I'm glad to be of assistance to you.
Yes, you have been.
So what are your goals with the book? You because you've started the platform, you're doing your thing, you've written a book, you're speaking, you're helping young girls. What do you want to do next?
Well, for the people who have read the book, they want a sequel. So I know I'm going to keep writing. Um, I would love to see every woman, at least in the city, to have read the book. But I'm casting my net a lot wider. I want every woman in the country to have read this book, and for me to keep on with the message
Mhm.
that we can be woman warriors. We already
Yes.
are woman warriors because of what we've been through and what we're going through now, and we're not alone. It's that solidarity that really helps us with our strength. It keeps us all
Amen.
strong, knowing that we're not alone. We're not doing this ourselves. It helped
Amen.
me that I wasn't alone. So I
Well,
want to keep doing it.
we did put your link in the chat and we'll put it back on the screen. MissChantelAuthor.com is where we can find your books, correct?
Yeah, that's where you can find the place to buy it. The Shopify one, if you use that one, you can also find design T-shirts to buy as well, and those books will be autographed. It'll
Oh, we
take
like an
Shopify,
autographed
but
book.
yes, I'm trying to help everybody. But I love
So
making the t-shirts, so there'll be more of those.
awesome. Yeah, I love t-shirts as well. I would be wearing one, but I'm wearing my work shirt right now.
Oh, me
I have
too.
to dress up to go to work.
I
But
don't know what the dress code was, but I'm usually in a t-shirt.
see, that's all right. I'm gonna have a t-shirt on later. Because
Me
when
too.
I finish the show, I'm going to bed.
It's about comfort.
Well, Miss Chantal, I really enjoyed talking with you. Like I said, you have a beautiful story. I'm really looking forward to really diving into the book because I think no matter how much you think you have it all together, there is always some struggle that you may have had in life, whether it's big to somebody or small to somebody else. There is some struggle that
Mhm.
you had to overcome, and it takes a lot of bravery to just kind of face that struggle the way you did and to write about it. And I was just actually saying this at the Congressional Black Caucus a few days
Mhm.
ago that I said sometimes you don't have to write your memoir to tell your story. And you chose to tell your story through fiction. And I was telling people you don't have to tell everybody your business. You don't have to
Mhm.
write you don't have to write a memoir or write your whole life story. Just maybe tell that aspect of your life and fictionalize it. You're still going to get your message across, but you're doing it in a way that might be a little bit less invasive.
I thought about Christina Crawford, Joan Crawford's daughter.
Mhm.
When Mommy Dearest came out, the
Yes,
first time, um, it was very well received, but over the years, she was like vilified for that. And that kind of messed me up a little bit because I'm like, how are you going to tell somebody that their experience didn't happen? And that's what they were
right.
telling her. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go that
Nobody
route.
wanted to believe that about Joan Crawford.
Exactly, exactly. That's why I didn't want to, because I it was suggested to me to do a tell all. I'm like, I don't want to do that because my mother is known within our local circle, and I didn't want to mess up anybody else's memory of her, but I still wanted to tell my story.
Yes, that
Mhm.
I mean that's very unselfish of you. So I'm glad that you
Mhm.
chose that route. You did the route that was best for you while still helping other people. So congratulations for
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Well, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the interview, but I once again want I want to thank you for just being a part of the show and for sharing your story. I'm looking forward to getting the book. Remind everybody once again where they can find it.
On my website, misschantalauthor.com, there's links you can click. I think there's Amazon, Bookshop, Shopify, all of the ones all the major ones. You can click on there and buy the book. It'll take you right there.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Let's get out. Let's support this book. And don't just read the book, leave a review. I,
Please,
yes,
please.
we need people to leave reviews. That way, there are some people who will not touch a book unless they've read the reviews. So when you leave a
Mhm,
review,
mhm.
you are really helping that author. You're not
Yes,
just pumping up egos, you're actually helping that author.
yes, please.
Well, you have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Keep doing what you're
Thank,
doing.
thank you. God bless you too, Dr. Rhonda.
All right, you take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, that was Miss Chantal. Thank you so much. She had a beautiful story that she was willing to share with the world. That's what it's all about. Before I move on to my next guest, I do want to remind you that if you are a fiction author, I know I talk a lot about fiction, but if you are a fiction author and you have released a book within the last 2 years, you are eligible to be a part of the for the Culture Book Awards. So submit your books. We are in regular registration right now. Registration ends November 1st. So you still have a little while, but I don't want you to forget. If you go to www.mtwimagesolutions.com/contest hyphen 2025, you will find the information. We have prizes, cash prizes for first, second, and third place winners. So you don't want to miss this. Yes, there is a submission cost, but you get so much out of it. You pay more for Facebook ads than you're going to pay to be a part of this event. So make sure that you're a part of it. Last year we had 3 amazing winners: Malika J. Stevely, we had Mark Bosajor, and we had Corey Davis. We want to see who's going to be the winners this year. So go to the website. It's right here on the screen. Find more information and submit your book to win the 2nd annual For the Culture Book Awards. We want to see you there, and I can't wait to read your story. Now, without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my next guest, Mr. Otis Gore. Hello.
How are you? How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you tonight?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I appreciate you coming. Thank you. Now, we met in Philadelphia.
Yes, at the Philadelphia Book Fair. And it was amazing because your mom is actually a great sales lady. She came over to the table and she was like, "You see my daughter over there? My daughter has a podcast." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go talk to her." And then when the gentleman was announcing it, that who you were, I rushed. I said, "Let me get over there before everybody else get over there." So, I could have went earlier when your mom was selling me, but I was like so enthused and trying to do my table and all that. But I got over there, so we're here now. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, I am very glad you came over because I was really interested in your book. Because I just enjoyed what you were talking about. So before we even get into that, I want you to be able to tell the audience who Otis Gore is.
So Otis D. Gore is a young man from the desolate place called the Bronx. Well, when I was growing up, it wasn't that great. There was actually a term in the Bronx that it was called the Bronx is burning, and it was literally burning. The Bronx that you see now is now nowhere near the Bronx that when I grew up in. We had abandoned buildings and open lots and a lot of crime, but we persevered through that. It's a good thing I had a good mom. My mother was very strict, and we had to worry about in the summertime, me and my 2 brothers and my sister had to be home by 8 o'clock. Well, in the summer, everybody's hanging out.
Right.
But she told us there's a reason why you can't be out there after a certain hour. She was right. So I'm a real estate broker. I grew up in the Bronx. I graduated. I became a real estate broker. I have a team of 10 agents, and I've always, trained, and I've always been that guy that people refer to as, let me talk to Otis. Let me get Otis's opinion. I don't know why, but I guess I'm in that space. The ladies put me in the friend zone, which I don't like. But anyway. I was like, "Oh, you'll put me in the friend zone? I gotta be a little mean. I can't be too nice." No, I wasn't kidding up. But so I always had the idea to write a book. It was always in me, So when I decided to actually finally do it and buckle down, and I started doing my research, I only told like a handful of people, and whoever I told, which was very like less than 1%, they were like, "Well, it's about time we would." So they already saw me in that space. So I was like, all right, no problem. You know how they say it. To me, I feel like when you want to really do something in your life, you can't tell a lot of people because you're going to get the doubts. You're going to get the naysayers, right? So I wrote the book about it. So you got to kind of disappear for a few months and then come back better. And you got to kind of hit people with it. So then they're like, oh, really? Because look, I got 2 daughters. My daughters are grown now. And I always told them growing up, I said, listen, the one thing you got to know about you is that as long as you don't doubt yourself, I said, what's going to happen is your friends are going to doubt you. Your mom's going to doubt you. Your sister's going to doubt you, your family. But I'm only concerned when you doubt you. That's the only thing that I'm concerned with. If you don't doubt you ain't got nothing to worry about. There is an old African proverb that states that if there is no enemy within, then the enemy outside could do you no harm. So I constantly advise anyone that I mentor, that I coach, everything starts within. I played sports in high school and everything. So my coach used to say, Gore, everything in life is from the neck up. And I was like, what is he talking about? But I understood what he meant. Everything in your life is going to be from here up. Anything that you make, all the choices you make, all starts from here. And I had to learn that, I'm 17, 18 years old, coming out of high school and all that. I was like, all right, I kind of understood what he meant, but that's what he used to tell me and everybody on the team. But here I am now. I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but you know. I ain't gonna tell you. That's just not gonna say that. But I don't, you know, listen, I don't look my age, so black don't crack. What am I gonna say, right?
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've been 25. Let's just say this. I've been 25 the last 27 years.
Well, you know, we're the same age.
Oh, well, listen. If a young lady asks me how old you think I am, I say 21. That's it. You're 21 to me. That's all I know.
Oh, you are hilarious.
You know, so it's funny because you can only be who you are in the world, right? I can't be this. You know, I'm a very serious person. I'm a very strategic. I've got a lot of resilience, and when I go for something, I go for it. It's not a problem. However, I have to be who I am, right? There's nothing worse in the world than you striving and you as a person is growing, but your life isn't.
Oh, that's big.
That's very, 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 that's not a good place to be. And I learned that a long time ago because I try to be somebody else, but I realized you will never, ever be happy in your life ever if you're trying to be somebody else. You can only be 100% happy if you are you, whoever you are. That's it. You don't try to be nobody else because, you know, all of us that's in the world now, most people in the world are living in a world where somebody else is trying to tell you who to be. So when someone becomes becomes their authentic self and they show who they are, I find that those people have a lot of courage because they are going against the grain and they're not conforming to society's standards. They're being who they are. And if you being who you are in the world, then to me, you're ahead of the game. Don't be nobody else. Don't be who nobody else believe you should be. You be who you are and who you believe you can become. That's from Dr. Otis. From Dr. Otis. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Otis. So is that what your book is about? Let's talk about your book.
Yes. So the book is called The Audacity of Doubt, right? Because again, you know, I coach a lot of agents. I train a lot of the agents in real estate and trying to sell them buy homes. A lot of them, the first thing they do is doubt themselves right off the bat. I sit them down, I interview them. When they come in my office, I sit down and interview them. And the first thing is it hard? Can I really do this? I said, listen, I said, you see that you probably, I said, you're defeating yourself right there. Right? I said, you got the nerve to don't believe in you. You know, if no one's gonna believe in you, you gotta believe in you. You know, so I remember when my daughter was she went to Drexel University in Philadelphia, right?
Okay.
But when she was trying to get into the school, she wasn't sure of herself. So I was like, Kayla, I said, what does daddy always tell you growing up? I said, you're concerned with what people are thinking the same. I said, I told her, does Drexel University or getting into that school hold enough value to you? Yeah. How much value does it hold to you? A lot. If it holds a lot of value, then you're going to get in. You ain't going to worry about nobody else. Because people don't fight for what they don't value. If you notice everybody in life or everybody that even you may know or I may know, when they're really going for something, that thing has a lot of value to them. So when I wrote The Audacity of Doubt, it gave me the information to think about the nerve or the emotion or the thought process of that always creeping up his mind every time you're trying to do something. I'm pretty sure when you started the podcast, the Horizons podcast, there was a little bit of apprehension, but you pushed through that anyway. You were just thinking, how can I get this done? You know what? Maybe I could do it this way. I could do it this way, this way.
I push through apprehension every day.
There you go. And even when, you know, just like I just spoke at the school last week, and that's when it was opening up. And I said, you kids got to learn one thing. You are either going towards a storm, you're going through a storm, or you're coming out of one. I said, what you gotta know is life is not easy. Like nothing is only as hard as you make it though. So you got to choose your hard. You got to choose your fair. You got to choose it. I remember when Zig Ziglar is a famous motivational speaker. And when I was in high school, he said something really profound and it stuck with me. You know how when I tell people, I don't want to motivate you. I want to inspire you. What that means is motivation is now. Motivation is at that moment. But the most important thing about the motivation is when you leave the conference or you leave the training, what you're going to do then? Is it going to stick with you? But when you're inspired, you got no choice because it inspired you you're going to take it with you wherever you go. So he said that we are all free to make a choice, right? And when you make the choice, you're all free to do that. However, what is not free are the consequences of the choice. So no matter what happens after you make the choice, just make sure you have that accountability from the choice, whether it's a good choice or a bad choice. Take the accountability of the choice. All right. I call it the like my daughter. See, I know I keep bringing up my daughters, but they think that I embarrassed them. So they came and saw me because recently in the Bronx on the 30th of August, I was the keynote speaker for the Bronx Book Fair, right? And you know, there's a song. You remember that song by Dougie Fresh? Hey, oh, I don't know if you remember. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, I get the idea.
You get it. So I told the guy I want to lead up when I come on the stage, play that song because there's a method, right? Because I have a part of my talk that talks about the A, right? And so I went on the stage, hey, oh, you know, just to get the crowd going, right? But towards the end of the talk, because I kept mentioning A, I tell people, I know you guys are wondering what A stands for, but I keep mentioning A. But I tell my daughters as they were growing up, right? You got to get an A. You don't have to only get an A in college. You don't got to get an A, all A's in school. You got to get your all A's in life. I said, you got to get A's in accountability. You got to get A's in action. Take the action. You got to get A's in awareness, right? You got to get your A's in audacity, right? You got to get your A's in access. If you get your A's in all these terms, action, accountability, access, you'll have more access to the goal that you're trying to get. You know, so as I was explaining it to everybody, the A. Yeah, I know it sounds a little corny, but it worked.
But it works, yeah.
It worked. You know, it's a metaphor, you know. But that's why I wrote the book. I wrote the book because I noticed that there's a lot of people, adults, young kids in high school, kids and going to college, in college, and everybody is apprehensive about what they want to do because we live in the information society. And there's so much going on. Social media alone can make you go, whoa, what's going on with that? There's so much information. There's so many decisions. There's so much that you don't really know which way to go. All right. So the book has 13 chapters. As a matter of fact, it's
there it is.
There it is. Yes, that's me on the cover. That's not Idris Elba. I'm sorry. No, you know why I said that? I said that because I remember one time when I was doing an open house because I was selling the property in New York, and my seller had my book on his mantle. Like he just had it like on the desk. I was like, I didn't know that. So one of the ladies was there and she was like, oh, is that you? So I looked and I said, oh, you know, oh yeah. I said, yeah, that's me. So, you know, my head was like, dude, she was like, oh, you wrote a book. I was like, yeah, I wrote a book. What's going on? What's going on? Then she said, I look like Idris Elba. And I was like, no. I said, don't go there. And then when she was leaving, I was like, did you really think so? I really kind of. No, it just. So ever since she said that, she's the only one that said that, though, just so you know. But ever since, yeah, she's the only one. But ever since she said that, then I was like, who I look like? No, I don't. Oh, okay, cool. I don't look like her. I apologize. Listen, I just have to be who I am. You know, I don't like to be
nothing wrong with digressing for a little while.
I don't. You know, I don't like to be this dry kind of, you know, low because, you know, I mean, you want to get the people interested. You want them to hear what you're going to say.
Absolutely.
Know? Yeah, and then you want them to get the message. So your delivery is very important, especially when you're doing a talk. You know.
Now, speaking of talks, do you mostly? I know you're a certified speaker. Yeah. So, do you mostly speak to teens and kids, or do you speak to adults as well?
I coach adults, and I speak to anyone. But the main focus is, I mean, it kind of became that from the book because what this book kind of resonates with the youth. And I noticed that anytime when I do an event, a lot of the parents say, "Oh, I want to buy this for my son. I want to buy this for my daughter." So it kind of, I wouldn't say that was what I meant to do. It just kind of went that way.
Right.
Yeah. And when it went that way, I said, fine, it makes sense. You know, because anytime when I do speak to students, they're all looking at me like, oh, okay. Because a lot of them are unaware of what they want to do. They don't know exactly. And they're still figuring things out.
I mean, think about yourself. Are you doing what you studied in school?
No, I'm not. I study more of a business administration because I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But I kind of I was always in sales anyway. So I fell into real estate when I was in corporate America, because I was the manager of a sales office. And I remember when a lot of the salesmen that were there would sell real estate on the weekend. And I used to hear them talk about, oh my God, it's hard and blah, 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 blah. So I used to tell them, you guys are defeating yourself already. I said, before you even go out there and start. So they kind of triggered me to get a license, which is back in 2009, actually. They triggered me to get a license because I would listen to them and I'd be like, how are you going to be a good salesman if you already defeating yourself before you even try to sell the product? I said, you got to at least believe in the product, right?
Yeah.
I said, so then I told myself, I see why a lot of you guys here ain't meeting the standards on the records that I see here. Because you guys are defeating yourself. I said, you tell me if you believe in the product, you're going to show me how much you believe in it. All right, because I'm going to see your stats. And if you are constantly below average, then you don't believe in it that much. This might just be a stepping stone for you.
Well, see, that kind of sounds like what I used to tell people, like, no, but I would tell authors sometimes, is that you have to be excited about your book. You have to think your book is the best thing since sliced bread, because how are you going to encourage me or convince me to buy your book if you don't even sound like you feel good about selling the book? You don't even want to tell me about it.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't really talk a lot. I'm a man of very few words. Okay. I don't know if you noticed that.
Hold on, I haven't noticed that at all.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm a man of very, very few words. But that's a true statement. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to believe in yourself. All right, you have to. So when I went in Atlanta this past June, I went to the Next Level Speakers Conference in Atlanta, in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yes.
Right? And if you see me, every shirt that I had on had a message on it. Well, this one says The Audacity of Doubt, my book, but every shirt had a message on it. One shirt had believe in you, but be you. Those words were in. The next message had one day or day one, you decide. So that I'm just telling people.
I like that one. I might need that T-shirt. I like that.
Yeah.
One day or day one.
Right. One day or day one, you decide. And on the bottom it says you decide.
Basically, for those of you who are in the back, that means either now or later.
Yeah, either now or later. I said, you are either gonna do it at some point or you're not gonna do it. I said, all the hesitation that you're doing now, before you know it, is 10 years down the line. Right? It's 10 years down the line. I mean, no matter what it is you're trying to do, most people in the world, or most people in life, believe it or not, they go to the grave without reaching their full potential. 99.9 people. The graveyard has the most potential in the whole world, because most of us go to the grave without reaching it. That's a fact.
Oof.
That is a fact.
Keep going.
It's a fact. And I didn't want to be that guy that's preaching, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, unless I went through the storm already, unless I went through it. I have to be able to show you something because I went through it, because I've done it. All right. When I became a top agent, and if you look at my office, looks like how you got your accreditations on the wall. I have all the plaques on the wall and all that stuff, right? And so when people come in my office and I interview them, automatically they see the success automatically. That's why I do that. It's not about bragging or anything, but when they come in, their first question is, oh, okay, yeah. I want you to know that this can be you, but only if you want it. Not everybody want it. I said there's three things that happens in a person's mind when they're looking to go for something, right? They're either intrigued by it, they either believe they could do it, but then there's another layer of true belief. You're intrigued by a lot of things. You know, like you see us men, we see a nice looking lady. Oh, that's a good looking lady. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. It's just intrigue. That's it. Same thing with the ladies. Y'all do the same thing, right? But then you'll see something that you may want to go for, that you might believe that you can do. You might say, hey, I like that. I think I can do that. You believe it enough that you take a few steps towards it. I call it touching the dream, right? You got to touch the dream. Whatever dream you want to go, you got to touch it. You got to be in the room with people. You got to see how they do it if you really want it. And then once you get to a little bit of adversity within that dream touching or within that belief, now you got to decide, all right, wait a minute. This is a little harder than what I thought. Am I going to go forward or what am I going to do? And a lot of us switch gears. But then there's that one thing that you find, that inspirational thing, or that thing that you say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to do this. I don't care what Dr. Rhonda says. I don't care what nobody said. I'm going to put my blinders on like the horse and I'm going to go. I'm going to get knocked down. I'm going to look up, see the ceiling, just like Les Brown said, but I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep on trucking. You know, they say a setback is a setup for a comeback, right? That thing right there is very rare. That's the true belief. That's the true belief. And it's very rare that you find that. Because a lot of us, if you read in some of my book, there's a paragraph in there I call living in your settlement, right? And sometimes success can hinder you. I wouldn't say success. Sometimes you could be enabled by not struggling enough. People don't get that.
That's true.
You might fall into a job, like there's nothing wrong with these jobs. You know, you get a job with the city, MTA, whatever. You know, you get a good job paying you decent money. You got a roof over your head. You got food on the table. You got all this. You're not struggling enough to pursue what you really want. You're not struggling enough. All right. And sometimes, depending on how much you struggle, that's going to determine how far you get. That's going to determine how fine your mindset is going to show you how bad you want that. Because it's very easy to be subtle. It's very easy to get into a settlement. You know, and you know, just like in the book, it states to you, it says something like in real estate, right? So in the book, I talk about, you know, toxic people and nurturing people, right? So in real estate terms, I call it, you got to do an appraisal on your life. When you do an appraisal on the house, what happens? They're going to see if it comes in at the value of the contract, below, undervalue, or above value, have some equity. Who are the people in your life that are above value, at value, or below value? Who are those people? The people who are above value is probably no more than 2 or 3.
Right.
No more. Most people are at value or below. Most people. Yeah. If you look at your life, if you look at the people around you right now, when you do what they call a discontinuance, it's like an assessment of your life. If you look at it right now, I tell people all the time, when people come to me and they say, oh, I don't like this person. And every time they come around, it's blah, blah, blah. I said, well, you know what you could do? What? I said, you could serve them an eviction notice. And they were like, what? True. I said, you could serve them an eviction notice.
They don't have to stay in your life.
They can't live rent-free in your head. They serve them an eviction notice out of your life. I'm not telling you to go to them and say, I don't want to be your friend no more, but just ease away. Ease away. Just do things without them. They'll get the message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'm on a different trip. I'm on a different road. Sometimes on the road to success, some people got to be left behind. It's a hard thing to do, but like we talked about, it's about choices, right?
Well, you just hit the nail on the head, though. That's a hard thing to do. Sometimes your mind is telling you that you need to cut this person out of your life, but your mouth and your heart are not following suit.
That is your intuition, and that's a human superpower. Your intuition is your defense mechanism against bad energy, but a lot of us don't listen to it, and it's telling us, "Don't do that, Rhonda. Don't go there." You ever drive down the street and then something tell you, "Don't go there," but you go anyway, and then you get lost.
Right.
You know, the intuition is very, very, very a strong sense, you know, and a lot of us don't listen. Just like when somebody contacted me today, and it was because I have an event on Thursday that I didn't think that I got into. I didn't think I did. So they called me today. Listen, we got a last minute thing. We want to put you in. Can you do it? Yes. Because I don't know when that's coming back around. Right? My intuition was like, go. Just go. You never know. But you never know who could change your life or what could change your life. tomorrow could be the first day of the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yeah, tomorrow, even now, there is no guarantees. Somebody asked me one time, and I don't know why I said this, because they were talking about what they want to do with their lives, and I was at a panel, what do you want to do? And someone said, Mr. Gore, what do you wish for? Like, what do you want next? Like, what do you want next for yourself?
Well, I was about to actually ask you the same thing. What's next? So this fits right in.
I'm glad you asked. You see, we're on the same wavelength. So we're gonna do it like we're in a script. So ask me, Otis, what do you want next? Go ahead.
Otis, what do you want next?
I'm glad you asked. I only want one thing. You know what that is?
What?
More tomorrows.
Mm.
That's it. That's what I want. I only want more tomorrows. If I get more tomorrows, right, I'll have a chance to be better than the day before, right? I want the yesterdays to be in the past, right? And I can't, it's not that I'm leaving things in the past. It's that every time that we look back on the past, what happens? It don't change.
It doesn't change, and it kind of slows you down. You can't walk fast when you're looking back.
Exactly. And I heard Tyler Perry said before, he said, there's a reason why the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield.
Yep.
I heard Tyler Perry. I was like, Tyler, I'm taking that. No. But I was like, that's good right there. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I had at the Bronx Book Fair, I talked about awareness and perspective, right? Your perspective on how you think about that, how you see these things is really, really important, right? I've never spoken to Dr. Rhonda in length like how we're doing now. So you really didn't have an idea of how it was. You saw the book cover, you liked the suit, you thought that I was fly, but once you was like, that's a fly dude right there. No. I know you thought this guy got it all together. No. But now you look at it differently because we've actually spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you see Otis, but now I guarantee you this. When you look at the book after this, or when you look at the cover after this, you're going to look at it differently. You are, because we had a conversation.
Right.
And there was some sort of an impressionable moments, I hope, but the thing that I tell people is your perspective on your life or where you're going can mean a lot of things. It could do a lot of different things. Like, number one, your perspective can either be your power or your prison. It could be one or the other, right? Right. Your perspective on how you think about things can either arrest you or it can release you.
Mm-hmm.
How you thinking about it. But the main thing is your perspective can ground you and keep you where you are, like we talked about, or it could be your passport and that'll take you wherever you want to go.
Boom.
Yeah. It's how you look at it.
Well, Mr. Otis, we have reached our half hour mark, and so we actually went past 8 o'clock because we had to start the show a little bit late. So that's why I didn't bother you, and I let you roll with it. But in the meantime, I know you just finished the Bronx event. Do you have any other speaking engagements coming up?
Yes. So this Thursday on the 2nd in New York City, it's a place on 46th Street. It's a place called the Penthouse NYC. I'm one of the featured speakers it's called the Author Speaker Series. And I'm one of the featured authors and speakers this Thursday on the 2nd, starting at 6 o'clock. I'll be there. I'll have my book there. I'm going to do 10, 15 minutes in the speaking. And it's more of a sophisticated crowd. I've been to one of those events before, and I gotta like drink coffee with a picky. I'm like, excuse me. Yes. It's one of those.
And the sophisticated people have money, so just do your thing.
People. So I'm still going to be me, though. I just have to remember that I can't be as animated as I'd like to be. But then again, I just might be who I am,
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you got to read the room. You can't you got to adjust, but you don't want to adjust away from who you really are, because it's not going to be you. It's not going to feel right.
Right.
But yeah, I have that coming up. And then on next week on the 8th, I'm actually filming the TV show Crash the Engine. It's called Crash the Industry. It broadcasts local here You know, I've been trying to get on that show for a while, so I just got that word today. So I got to tape that next week.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank
We're
you so
talking
much.
to a whole celebrity.
Oh, you know, I said, but listen, if you see me on that show, right, and you see me I'm sitting in the channel like this, yeah, you know, the book is called, you know, you're going to be like, Otis, that ain't you. That ain't you, Otis.
Well, show us the book cover one more time.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
There it is.
There it is.
The Audacity of Doubt.
Pushing through limited beliefs to live your best life.
Your
life has to be limitless. Your mindset got to be limitless. There's an adjective that I have for limitless. It's called infinite possibilities come to those who believe. Right? Okay. You like that?
One more time.
You like my quotes. I know you do.
You should do a whole book of quotes.
Actually, you know, there's a guy, Billy Alsbrooks, right? He's a speaker, like really rah-rah kind of guy. White guy I think he's from Florida. His book is called Blessed and Unstoppable, right? So I really like the way he speaks, right? You heard of him, Billy Alsbrooks?
I'm not sure if I have.
He has a book called Blessed and Unstoppable, right? And that book came out like 2017. And when I bought the book, because I'm like, yeah, because I went to one of those events, I said, I want to see what this guy's about. And the book is nothing but quotes, the whole book.
See, you could do something like that.
I was looking for stories. See, my book has quotes, it has stories, chapters, it has bullet points to let you know how to push through. Like after every chapter that you read, there's a bullet point after that to help you, give you some pointers. You know, I want to kind of give you like the whole thing. I also have a workshop called the Audacity of Doubt, and I have a coaching program called Face the Doubt. Yeah, so the doubt itself, right? In the coaching program, I teach people, don't think of doubt as a deterrent. Don't think of doubt as a feeling to stop you. You got to face it, right? You got to face the doubt and think of it as an opportunity. And so people look at me like, how am I going to do that? Think about it. You think about doubt as an opportunity because the reason why it's trying to stop you, because there may be something for you on the other side of that.
Well, that's why do you have a website where people can find more information about your coaching programs?
Yeah, so I have a website called otisdgoreauthor.com, but I'm building a new one.
Okay.
I'm building a better one because that one is more like a template. But the one that I'm doing now, it's going to be about my speaking, my author, everything. I'm actually building it like right now. The guy's a little expensive, but you know.
Hey, sometimes you have to do what you have to do.
You got to do what you got to do. I'm trying to get a payment plan. I told him, can I give you $5 a week? Can I give you $5 a week?
Oh my goodness, you'll never finish paying that man.
I'm just kidding. I just did, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm just in the mood right now. I'm just, you know, every day is a blessed day, right? Just like I told the guy at the grocery store today. I said, every day is a good day, but it's up to you to make it great. He looked at me. Amen. I was like, it's up to you to make it great, my friend.
Well, Otis, thank you once again for being on the show. We wish you the best in all you're doing. And I'm really glad to know you're doing so many speaking engagements because that means that's that many more people who you can motivate and inspire with your words.
Where you based out of, New Orleans?
Well, I'm from New Orleans, but I live in the DC area.
Oh,
I live in Maryland.
Oh, so how's those I was going to say something about the troops that Trump something, but anyway, no.
Oh, I see them every morning and every afternoon.
And they just chilling out. They ain't doing nothing.
They strolling.
And Trump's on TV. He goes, "Oh, I got crime to 0 in Washington." I was like, "Okay, it was already down." Yeah, so you're right there. My daughter lives right there in Philadelphia, so I'm always back and forth from Philly.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and I like Maryland. I mean, you must live in Prince George's County. I don't know.
I do.
One of the rich African American counties. But Prince George's County is a lot of different counties, and one, it's not like it's just Prince George's County. It's like a lot of different areas. Prince George.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of different towns. Yeah. I live in one city. There's like a couple of other cities. It's a very big county.
Very, very, very big county. Yeah. That's a nice little spot. You know, I'd like to possibly check that spot out. Yeah,
they all coming over here. Come on.
So not everybody's going to Atlanta no more, like my sister is at, huh? Atlanta's saturated now.
Okay, see, if I tell you what I heard when I first moved here, the Atlanta folks might get mad at me. But I heard that DC is Atlanta with a master's degree.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. No, let me tell you though, if you
don't get mad at me, I still love you, Atlanta folks. I still love you.
If you look at the income for the average African American in Maryland, especially in Prince County, it's over 100K. The average, you know, is the average. Now the national average for Black Americans is like $47,000 average across the country. We're talking like high, low, middle.
Don't worry, DC and Maryland, they take it all back. They take it all back.
Yeah, the good thing you don't work for the government, because you a federal employee, you'd be in trouble.
Oh,
uh-oh. You don't want to say nothing about that. Really? Oh, my bad.
See, you're gonna get me in trouble. Let me go ahead and end this show.
I'm sorry. Hey, now you could be a 1099 like me. I was a 1099er since 2010. Never worked for nobody else.
Well, we're working toward that one day.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You doctor, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, I'm proud of you. I'm not a doctor, but you know, maybe someday they'll just give me. How did they give when they gave Shaq his doctorate because he did something for humanity or whatever? They just give
you got an honorary doctorate.
Honorary doctorate, and then he starts to call himself Dr. Shaq. I was like, you ain't gonna know medical school, dude. Like, I mean, how does that make a real doctor feel though? Like, it's weird, right? Because you actually went to the work. You did the work.
Yeah. I don't have an honorary doctorate.
Yeah. You're a real doctor.
I'm not a medical doctor though.
You're still a doctor.
Yes, this is true.
You know, just like me, I identify as the doctor of love. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry.
Bye, Otis.
I'm only kidding, Dr. Ryder.
You have a great night. I gotta end the show.
Listen, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I appreciate the opportunity. And go get the book. It's on Amazon. The Audacity of Doubt, Otis D. Gore. And look for me. I'm trying to get on the Tamara Hall show, but she ain't picking up my call.
Oh, well, try the other ones. You know, you got Jennifer Hudson. I
knew Tamara Hall last year, a year ago. My friend that live around my area, they had like a Father's Day thing, and he was actually on the show. I said, "How'd you get on the show?" He said that there was a lot of people that referred him because he does a lot for the community for fathers and bring your child to school year, all that stuff he does. So that's how he got in. Which is good though. Which is really, really
get
good.
Some people to do a campaign for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So I really have to end the show now. But thank you so much for being on the show. You are more than welcome to come back, but we are booked up for the rest of the year, so you can't come back until like March. But you are more than welcome to come back in March.
But before you go, there's this thing you got going on with the book awards.
Yes, the For the Culture Book Awards. It's for fiction authors though.
Oh, not nonfiction.
Yeah, this one is exclusively for fiction authors.
Oh, for fiction. Okay, so novels and stuff like that. Okay, cool.
Right. So if you know any fiction authors, tell them to come on and be a part of this contest. It's a great contest with cash awards.
I do know. Actually, she's a doctor herself. She's a therapist, doctor. They call her Dr. Nikki. Okay. She's actually, I grew up with her, and she has a book out, but it's a novel too. It's a nonfiction. It's a fiction novel, and I'm going to tell her about it and say maybe she can submit it.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, her name is Dr. Nicole Gilbert.
Okay, I'll look for her.
When you see her, she has all the accolades like you on the wall too. Well, you have a good night. I don't want to keep you anymore.
Okay, well, you have a good night as well. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll talk again.
All right. Well, yes, we will. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. That was author Otis Gore. And we have reached the end of the Horizons Author Lounge. I know we went a little bit longer today. If you joined us late, you'll know we had a couple of technical issues, but we got those worked out. And we had 2 amazing interviews. So thank you all for joining us. If you haven't heard We have actually surpassed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're continuing to climb. So thank you so much for your support and all of your love. Thank you for helping us make this show continue to grow and to continue being a service to authors throughout the country, actually throughout the world. We've had some international authors on the show before as well. That's what this show is all about, is support. And speaking of support, last plug, but my new book, Surprise Swipe Right, is going to be ready for pre-orders in about 2 weeks. You'll be able to pre-order your copy of Surprise Swipe Right, which is a holiday rom-com about a lady whose daughter secretly sets her up on a dating site. It is hilarious, it is cute, and it's a family book. So that means that there's no bad language in it. There's no heavy scenes. This is a totally feel-good book, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. So stay on the lookout because it's coming up. All right. That's all we have for tonight. There's so many things that I could be reminding you guys about. I mean, we have the Right to Win Writers Community. We have the For the Culture Book Awards. We have promotion packages. We have the Black History Month Literary Weekend. We have My Book Trust, which is the bomb. We have the Booked and Buzzing publicity kit, the DIY publicity kit. There's so many things that I could be reminding you guys of. But what I'm going to do right now is just say thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to support this show. I want to see you next week when we start interviewing the authors who are going to be part of the National Black Book Festival. And we're going to be dedicating the entire month of October to the National Black Book Festival. So meet some of the authors who are going to be there. It's an amazing festival. It's been around for almost 20 years. Great things going on, great things. And I really want you guys to be a part of it. We want this to be the biggest yet. So stay tuned for that. And then I'll also see you tomorrow for another episode of Black Authors Matter TV, which takes place every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the National Black Book Festival Facebook page. And that is all we have for tonight, guys. God bless you. Keep reading, keep writing, and just keep being awesome. Thank you.